Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. In this video, we are going to discuss about respiratory system, and we are going to do much focus on human respiratory system. Respiration. All the cells need oxygen to carry out their metabolic reactions. For breaking down of complex substances into simpler substances, oxygen is needed. Oxygen helps in the release of energy in the form of ATP. Now we are going to discuss about two different terms, that is respiration and breathing. Respiration is a chemical process and breathing is a physical process. In breathing there is a exhalation and inhalation, but in respiration there is a breaking down of complex substances into simpler substance and the energy will be released. That's what respiration is called as catabolic process. Respiration is also called as exorganic process. What exorganic process? The heat energy will be released during this process. We can call respiration as an intracellular process. What does it mean? And the process takes place within the cell. That's what it is called as intracellular process. Let's look into that, the equation C6H12O6. Let's talk about this one. C6H12O6 plus 6O2 give rise 6CO2 plus 6H2O plus 38 ATP. So during this catabolic reaction, so glucose is broken down and carbon dioxide and water is as a end product. Along with that, the 38 ATP or energy. The next one we are going to discuss about what are the keys included in the respiration. There are three keys are important for the respiration. Number one is respiratory system. Number two is blood transport. Number three is cell. So these together are involved in that respiration process. Now we are moving on to that human respiratory system. First of all, we are looking into that the organs which are helpful for the respiration process. So if you talk about the respiratory organs of the human, it is divided into two groups, upper respiratory tract and lower respiratory tract. So the upper respiratory tract that includes nose, nasal cavity or nasal chamber, sinus and pharynx. The lower respiratory tract includes the larynx, trachea, bronchi and bronchioles, enters into the lungs, and lungs you can see alveoli. Along with this part, we can see that the two more parts, that is diaphragm and the intercostal muscles. They are also playing the important role in the respiration process. Now we are going to talk about the first part of the respiratory system, that is nose. Now I am going to draw that the side view of the nose. There is an opening that is called as nostril, and inside that there is a hair that is called as nostril hair that filters the air, that means it is helpful for removing the dirt particles from the air which is inhaled by us, but it doesn't traps the bacteria at all. Behind that there is a mucous membrane. That mucous membrane secretes a mucus that traps that the bacteria and kills it. Now we are going to look into that the front view of the nose. So the nose is divided into two with the help of a cartilage that is called as a mesenteroid. Now we are moving on to that the common opening of the, now I'm going to draw that the side view. the common opening of the nose and the mouth. So the outer part is called as external nair and the inner part is called as internal nair. And there is a common space in between the external nair and the internal nair, that is called as nasal cavity. So now I'm going to show it here. So here this is called as nasal cavity or nasal chamber. We can say it as nasal chamber. So the nasal chamber is divided into 3 groups. Nasal chamber is divided into 3 parts. The very first part is vestibule, the second part is respiratory, and the third part is sensory. So the vestibule is the anterior most part of the nasal chamber, and it has air that traps the dirt particles from the air which is inhaled by us. The respiratory part is rich in blood capillaries, and it is really helpful for warm or moistening the air. When we inhale the air in the summer season, it just moistens the air. During the winter season, it just warm up the air. The third part, the very important part, that is the sensory. It is lined by the sensory epithelium. It is lined by sensory epithelium, and it is very important for giving the sense of smell. It is purely because of the olfactory receptors which is present in the sensory part. Now we are moving on to the pharynx. Pharynx is the common opening of the mouth and the nose. It is 12 centimeter in length. Again, it is divided into 3 parts: nasopharynx, oropharynx, laryngopharynx. We are going to look into that nasopharynx and oropharynx. Nasopharynx, it is important for conduction of the air, and oropharynx, it is important for conduction of the food, that is leads into the esophagus. Pharynx has the tonsils, which is made up of lymphoid tissues. It has a mucus that traps the bacteria and kills it. Now we are moving on to that larynx. It is also called as sound box. Even we can call it as Adam's apple. It is the sound producing organ. It is seen in the clearly seen in the case of the adult. When the boys reach the stage of puberty, it started to increase in size. Pharynx opens through the larynx. That small opening is called as glottis. The glottis is guarded by the epiglottis, a flap-like structure. You can see here, that is epiglottis. Epiglottis is the one responsible for controlling the closing and opening of the windpipe. That is called as trachea. We are going to see that one. The side of the epiglottis, you can see that the vocal cords. The vocal cords are made up of muscles. They are the ones responsible for the sound, and that produce the sound. Once it vibrates, the sound is produced. Now we are moving on to trachea. Below the larynx, you can see that the trachea, it is a cartilaginous ring. You can see here, cartilaginous ring. It is a 12 centimeter long and 5 centimeter width. It has the ciliated epithelium. You can see that it has a ciliated epithelium wall. So when that dirt particles mistakenly enter into the trachea, it just ejected out by coughing or by showing the ciliary actions. It is lined by the mucus glands also. So here these mucus glands are helpful for trapping the bacteria which enters into the trachea. Now we are moving on to that bronchi and bronchioles. So once that trachea is divided into bronchi and then enters into the lungs, the bronchi is a cartilaginous rings, and it is made up of 5 to 6 cartilaginous rings. But when we talk about the trachea, it is made up of 16 to 18 cartilaginous rings. Again, these bronchi is divided into bronchioles. So you can see that the primary bronchioles, and then secondary bronchioles, and then tertiary bronchioles. So the bronchioles, tertiary bronchioles contains that the small sac that is called as alveolar sac. That is called as what? Alveolar sac. Each alveolar sac contains 20 alveoli. They have what? 20 alveoli. And these alveoli is completely covered by pulmonary artery and pulmonary vein. So the pulmonary artery carries that the deoxygenated, pulmonary vein carries that deoxygenated blood to the alveoli, and pulmonary artery carries oxygenated blood to the alveoli. So alveoli is highly elastic in nature, friends. It is a highly elastic and it is a spongy in nature. If the alveoli is healthy, that means our lungs is also considered to be healthy in condition. Alveoli, if you see that, if you observe that the human lungs has more than 750 million alveoli, please remember that things, because it is a NEET based question. When we talk about the diameter of the alveoli, it is 1 micron. We can say it is 1 micron. I will write it here. The size of the alveoli, each alveoli is 1 micron, and it is lined by simple squamous epithelium. It is lined by simple squamous epithelium. On that alveoli, there is already, I told you, there is a passing of the capillaries, that is pulmonary artery and pulmonary vein. Only the pulmonary artery carries that oxygenated blood, and only pulmonary vein carries that deoxygenated blood to the alveoli. Alveoli is a collagen and elastic fibers in nature. Now we are moving on to the lungs. Lungs is pad and a hollowed elastic organ located in the thoracic cavity, enclosed by a membrane that is called as pleura membrane. Here you can see that enclosed by a membrane that is called as pleura membrane. It is a pinkish in color, elastic and balloon-like structure. The ribs are the ones protecting the lungs. And if you observe that the structure of the lungs, there is a outer pleura membrane and inner pleura membrane. Outer pleura membrane is called as parietal pleura, and inner pleura membrane is called as viscera pleura membrane. So visceral means important. There is a space in between the outer pleura membrane and the inner pleura membrane, that is called as pleural space. These pleural spaces filled with the fluid that is called as pleural fluid. That is called as pleural fluid. Now let's talk about this pleural fluid is really helpful for preventing the lungs to get dry, and it prevents the friction. It provides nourishment, and it acts as a shock absorber also. When we look into that, the lobe of the lungs, in the left lung you can see that 3 lobes, and the right lung it has only 2 lobes. Why it is like that means, because in the left side, because of the positioning of the heart, the left lung has only 2 lobes. Now we are moving on to that the diaphragm. So here the diaphragm is the one gives us a boundary for the movement of the lungs. So the lungs cannot extend out of the boundary of the diaphragm. Diaphragm is a cartilaginous in nature and the muscle structure, and as I told you, it gives that the boundary to the lungs movement. When the lungs inhales, it started to contract. That means it becomes flat. When the lungs exhale, it is come back to the original position, that is dome shaped. Here you can see that the lungs in the exhale condition, that's what it looks like, a dome shape. If it is inhale position, means it looks flat in shape. As I told you, the rib cage is the one protecting the lungs. So during that, the respiration, even the rib cage moves in and out with the help of the intercostal muscles. So the intercostal muscles are the ones helpful for the movement of the ribs also. So up till now, children, this is the end of the session. The next video, we are going to come up with the next important topic. Thank you so much.